Hey guys, T2 out here. Welcome to the Type Brandon's channel. Today we're doing a wintertime get home bag challenge. Our last get home bag challenge, it was like 69 degrees throughout the day, no rain, low humidity, so we couldn't complain about that one bit.
Tonight we were supposed to have thunderstorms, like possible snow, you heard the reports.
Yeah. So in the last week we've had a flood warning, a tornado warning, a sleet warning. I don't know what the hell we're going to catch tonight.
There ain't no telling.
Any big changes you've made?
The big thing is I've completely changed my bag setup. I'm getting old, I guess you could say. I like to be warm. I added a sleep pad since the last get home bag challenge because that was a big thing. More sleeping equipment like a sleeping bag liner, just all kinds of different stuff to really stay warm. It's still a get home bag. It's not really heavy. When you see it, it looks like it's just jam-packed to the top, but it's really not. It's just got bigger items in it to help me stay warm, help me face those elements.
So I am testing out the Titan Survival Emergency Sleeping Bag. I'm going to try this brand out just to see if it's worth the hype or not. My other big change is I added a UST blanket and some tent spikes. It is already nighttime, so sorry about the bad lighting.
Didn't get off till like 5:30. It gets dark at like 6, so we just didn't have time to get set up. But it's going to be a set of challenges for us to kind of show y'all.
You might not get the perfect day to do a get home challenge or a real get home situation.
It makes it more realistic too, because you don't know when the grid's going to go down. You don't know when, civil unrest, when your car is going to break down. So it's just kind of going to give us an opportunity to try out something different.
Yep. But yeah, we'll get down here and set up camp the best we can and bring y'all along.
Y'all stay tuned.
Hey guys, so here's my setup. Very crude, very not how I would have liked it. So this is the tarp that Jesse used. And then on the bottom we have my itty bitty little tarp, but I've actually overlapped the two tarps to have a section that's going to be up off the ground, going to have full tarp so that if it does rain, I'm not going to be getting wet. And then what I was trying to do is kind of do like a double triangle, like both sides of the triangle coming together. But my tie-up points ain't right. I got this one too high, but everything is just too stable right now for me just to tear it all down and restart. If I start getting wet or whatever, then I'll have to worry about it. But right now, I think it's going to be good.
Still got my black trash bag down here. On top, I've got this UST survival blanket, and I plan on sleeping on the inside of this with this Titan survival blanket. It'll be spaced out, and this can go on top of me as well. It is low to the ground, so it'll retain my heat a little bit better. So hopefully I stay warm tonight. I guess we'll see. All right, guys, so we have camp set up.
Changed it up a little bit. Had to borrow some paracord. I originally came into this thing thinking I was going to be able to use some fishing line, trying to take a cheap way out. It was not working. Could not hold any tension. This is the brown tarp that GH used in the last Get Home Challenge. Blue tarp on the ground. Get down. Blue tarp on the ground to kind of, put a barrier between me and the actual ground itself. It's raining. It's supposed to get cold tonight. Don't know what we're really going to get. The weather's been hit and miss all day. Using the Cedar Ridge Trooper Junior sleeping pad. I have the Life Bivy. Inside of that, I actually have a thin little Ozark Trail bought from Walmart sleeping bag liner, just to give me like a blanket or a covering like that.
You're going to see how that UST survival blanket does along with the Titan Survival Emergency Sleeping Bag. I loved my one from last time I used, but I just kind of want to see if there's any difference. Me and PD use the fuel canisters. A lot of people who hate them. There's a lot of people that say, hey, this little biomass stove will be better. Yes, this thing can run out of fuel, absolutely. But it's been raining for the last week almost, so everything is getting soaked. Now, I could find enough leaves and sticks and twigs to get this fire going long enough for me to boil up a cup of water. Or I could just put my cup of water on here and 3 minutes later, I have boiling water. I encourage everyone to throw one in their bag. They're super convenient, pretty cheap. It's a whole lot easier than trying to go out and find enough sticks and enough twigs to not only light this thing, but to keep it going. That's my little tip.
Making coffee.
Coffee time. Also, hot lips. Super awesome. They don't burn your mouth.
I'm finally settling down in my tarp tent, whatever you want to call it. My shelter for the night. Everything seems to fit good. Everything seems to be good. That's pretty much all I got to say. This brown tarp, it fits both me and all of my gear in here pretty comfortably. Definitely worked a whole lot better once we got the paracord and got everything set up that way. So we'll see y'all in the morning.
Titan Survival Sleeping Bag. Big enough I fit in it. I've got this orange thing kind of wrapped around my legs, and I don't know how well you can see. Man, it is tight in here. So next time I know, bring my tarp up a little bit. So it's morning time. It rained. Major gear fill on the Titan survival bag. Lining up with my old one.
So recap on how last night went. Actually, I slept all right. Sleeping pad was a freaking lifesaver. I can't say enough about how good it was compared to the last get home challenge. The life bivy worked really good. Sleeping bag liner worked really good. I never really got super cold. That's about it. I survived, so.
All right, guys, so I was sleeping good until about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I think my arm's outside. I gotta put my arm back in. Tuck my arm back down in it. My arm is somehow still outside of the sleeping bag, even though I just moved it. This was the neck. Right here. This entire waterproof, tapered seam, whatever you want to call it, split. It ain't waterproof if it's got a giant hole in it, and it sure as heck ain't warm. I froze from like 5 o'clock on, and this thing didn't hold up to a person sleeping in it. Had this been a real situation, and had it been colder than what it got last night, this would have cost my life, whoever else's life. My one that I used last time and the one that I used again, ended up using again, doesn't have a giant hole in it. And it's a multi-time use. This one, used the first time, and the damn thing gets a split down the entire side. Other than that, slept fine. I stayed dry, the tent pegs stayed down. The UST blanket, again, it works well. My feet had plenty to wrap around it, but my arms and my chest did not. And that thing really made a difference. Not necessarily heat, but more of a windbreak. Let's get packed up and go home. All right, guys, so we're packed up. Yeah, lessons learned. If I could get 2 of those UST survival blankets, I'm honestly thinking about swapping out my Walmart tarp for that. Like I said, I could wrap it around my feet, and I could really feel the warmth. Lesson learned. Not really check your gear, because I mean, you expect your gear to work as it should. Luckily, I did have the backup sleeping bag. Had I not had that one, whenever the Titan survival failed, it would have made for a long and chilly morning. We mentioned how to use the fuel cook systems. It's been essentially raining all night, so you're gonna waste too much time building the fires.
Definitely invest in the sleep pad. Make sure to bring enough clothes to stay dry. And being soaking wet, wind blowing, it's being cold and miserable. That's my lesson learned for this. Definitely making sure I got a pack of clothes next time.
You know, we were working in these pants all day. We were out here rolling around in the dirt. So we were kind of wet. My ankles were a little bit wet. My knees were wet.
Feet are soaked.
Feet are soaked. Had it been as cold as they said it was going to be, it probably would have made for a long, bad night. We're glad that it didn't get as cold as they said it was going to.
Yeah, like we said, they were talking about like possible snowstorm.
We're going to head to the hill. Thanks for watching.
Peace out, y'all.